Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Do you remember the First World War? Not that you were over there or I, but when it started and they all started to mobilize their population, the civilian population, to go to war, they were all singing while going to war. They were all like a frenzy. Finally, we're going to take care of you. And the other ones would say, finally, we're going to take care of you. We'll settle the score right now. Something was brewing. They were all happy about it and they were all enthusiastic to go to war. They were singing while they were going to the front. That's how it was. Not everyone, but there were reports that Germans and others were doing this. Now, when Ukraine and Russia's little scuffle started, you had Western countries doing that, not going to war, but doing that, singing how they're going to hurt Russia. And they were all in a frenzy to impose sanctions on Russia. Remember, they didn't know what to bring on the table, how they hurt Russia. Little country, big country, unimportant country, unimportant country. They all wanted not unimportant and important. Unimportant country and unimportant country. And I'm talking about the Baltic states, I'm talking about Poland, I'm talking about Germany, I'm talking about, these are unimportant countries, just so you know, including Germany. These are where nowadays they're unimportant. They don't count, they're under occupation, US occupation since the World War II. So what happened here? They all imposed and yes, we're going to do this, yes, we're going to do that. All right. And they imposed sanctions on Russia, gas and so on. By doing that, they actually shot themselves in their both feet. So now they're crawling, like tards over there on they clean the sidewalk of dust. Like that's how they are, like slithering. And they did this, though, singing like the guys in the First World War, before the First World War, singing without knowing, hey, we're actually going to die, man. Yeah, we're going to. That's how these guys, man, we impose sanctions. Yes, but actually we will not have gas. Did you think it through before you voted for that? Or you didn't? I think they did, but they didn't care. They thought that probably Russia will be nailed in about 3 weeks or 4 weeks and will just collapse. It didn't happen. That means bad planning. That means bad experts, bad everybody else, or they knew this will happen, which is Russia will not collapse economically, and they will be hurt, but they did it nevertheless, because the big boss across the Atlantic, remember, Zimbabwe, they said, you got to do it, and they got to do it, then they did it. Now, after 6 months of war, winter is coming, sorry to break you the news, and it's coming like that, and they can hear it galloping, and then they start cracking. These countries that at the first beginning of the war, like Czech Republic, Slovakia, we're going to give you weapons, Ukraine, we're with you, yes. Now they're starting to squeak, cry, winter's coming, we don't have gas, we got to do something. The same Germany and many other countries. Now we're going to talk about this country that is the first one who wants to convene a meeting in the European Union. Guy, we're dying. Here it is. This article comes from Republic World and it's from August 27th, 2022. Czech Republic, that's the country, to convene urgent meeting of EU ministers to address energy crisis. So, Czech Prime Minister Petr Fiala stated that EU energy ministers will soon convene for an urgent conference to address the energy crisis caused by the Russian-Ukraine war. No, caused by your sanctions. That's what determined this. Because that war could have been over there forever and your gas would be floating to you with no problem. So you intervened and you said, let me put my virtue medal here, and we're going to impose sanctions on you and we're going to destroy you. We're going to bury you. And who's getting buried now? The Prime Minister. Okay, urgent conference to address and discuss the urgent energy situation caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. As I said, taking to Twitter, Prime Minister Fiala, not Fiara, said that the Czech presidency of the Council of the European Union will convene an urgent meeting of energy ministers to discuss specific emergency measures to address the energy situations. We're dying. Dying. That's what they are. Notably, the European Council is presently being chaired by the Czech Republic. You know what that is? They're just there to say, it's your turn to talk. Hey, you can't talk right. That's a presidency over there. It's not like they're, oh my God, or chairing the, that's what they do. Joseph Sikela, the nation's Minister of Industry and Trade, said, we are in an energy war with Russia and it is damaging the whole European Union. Didn't you know that in March when you started these sanctions? You didn't know that? You did what, like 6-7 sets of sanctions against Russia? Yay, Sikela, didn't you know that? If you didn't, you should not be the Minister of Industry and Trade. Or at least you should have voiced whatever you knew would happen. But you didn't have balls, there was snipped, and you say, yes, let's do the sanctions, yeah, we're going to destroy the Russians. That's how it happened, like children in a freaking kindergarten. Oh my God. All right. So it's damaging the whole European Union. I told you that in February, in March, when you started with the first sanctions. I told you, and I'm not a minister, I'm not an expert, but any person with an IQ above 86, and I think I qualify with about 87, is just figure things out. So he had mentioned in a tweet that he would suggest calling an extraordinary meeting of the EU Energy Council as soon as possible, in line with the European Commission and the Prime Minister Fiala. Energy crisis in Europe. Ooh, that's news? No. In the month of July, the head office of the European Union suggested that member states reduce their gas usage by 15% during the upcoming months to guarantee that any complete Russian blockade of natural gas supplies to the Union won't fundamentally damage industries in the next winter. You screwed up. You failed. Out. The Commission requested the nation to impose mandatory cutbacks. The Commission requested, that's an order, the nation to impose mandatory cutbacks throughout the EU amid a EU-wide alert when there is a substantial risk of a severe gas shortage or an exceptionally high demand for gas occurs, which results in a significant deterioration of the gas supply situation, you lift the sanctions. No, even though the preliminary deduction would be voluntary. Well, I know what's going to happen. I'm not have a crystal ball, but I think they're going to move towards Putin. Can I talk to you? Hey, we changed our mind. Are you okay with that? Duh. Okay. So, Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, claimed Russia is blackmailing us. Another tard, below 86. How is Russia blackmailing you when you impose sanctions on them? And this is the result of your actions. You didn't have to do that. You did it because you put your virtue medal because those guys have a scuffle with those guys that you were supposed to be the guarantors of the Minsk agreements from 2014 on. Remember? Ursula of Germany, now she's the president, unelected by the citizens of European Union, by the way. All right, yeah. And then we got blackmailing us. Russia is using energy as a weapon. Pfft. If Russia goes and takes his gas, his toys, and goes somewhere on someone else's in a park or a playground, where are you going to get your gas? You're going to get your gas from someone else. So then that someone else could blackmail you. So because you don't have energy, you are potentially being blackmailed by each and every customer or client that you make business with. Ursula is just a hack. How is she going to do? Unless she said, when they made deals with Russia, there was no war. There was no animosity. There were no enemies. Okay, they sell you, let's say, 50%, which is 40% of gas they get. Now that's gone. Who's going to supply you? Let's say it's China supplying you. Couldn't China potentially blackmail you like Russia does right now? Yes. So what are you going to do? You get it from United States. Let's say not China, United States. Could United States possibly blackmail you in the same way? Yes. So you will be always bent over, okay, and you take it each and every time for the 40% that you need from someone. It's Russia now. If you decide to be, I don't know, United States tomorrow, unless you think that that guy is not going to do it hard on you. That's all. Or will not use blackmail, which under the current situations, European Union doesn't have an independent foreign policy. They do what the Americans tell them to do. Got it? So they blackmail you at every corner. They have armies in Germany, 70,000 troops in Germany. What are those guys, American troops, doing over there? Just, I don't know, getting a tan or something? No. They're over there to make sure, not necessarily that Russia invades, to keep everything under control. In these guys, after the Second World War, they were over there, and they will be there over there, because they're your allies. Jesus Christ. It's so obvious here. The EU recommendation came at a time the International Monetary Fund is a blog post. In a blog post, cautioned about the influence Russian President Vladimir Putin may have by weaponizing energy exports and cutting off the 27-nation bloc. Didn't you think about this when you imposed sanctions? Didn't you? If you didn't, you are bad, like, you know what I mean? And if you did, that means you're kind of like a... starts with a crime, you make it, you know, differently. So, additionally, the EU has agreed with the prohibition of most Russian oil and coal to go into force later this year after Russia invaded Ukraine. However, natural gas has been left out since the 27-nation union relies on gas to run companies, produce electricity, and heat homes. Left out in a way that they closed the Nord Stream 2. Didn't even open it, the Germans. Because Zimbabwe from across the Atlantic told them, hey. What was that? What was that? When Scholz went to White House and he got like 8 questions on the same issue and he was like, dodging, bobbing, weaving, something. He got back and he said, okay, let's do it. And he shot his citizens in the foot by doing that. And now they're all crying. Czech Republic is the first one, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be other countries going to be like, we're dying, we need it. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? They're going to call Putin. That's what they're going to do. I don't guarantee you that will be the normal way of getting out, unless they say, you know what, guys, you're not going to have electricity, or you're going to have limited energy supply this winter, and good luck to you and your kids, because we decided, and we're going to be suffering as you do. Like Zelensky wears that shirt, you know, like always the green shirt, like he's always and unshaved, like he's suffering like the whole population of Ukraine. Psst. Do you believe that? I don't. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.